Hi guys, these days we've been doing more cooking at home than we've ever done before in our 12 years of marriage. We've gotten quite acquainted with the knife in the kitchen. Uh, every cook knows that a dull knife can be more dangerous than a sharp one. Although it seems contradictory, just hear me out. A dull knife is harder to use, it requires more force, and it's harder to control on the part of the cook. Imagine using a dull knife to cut a tomato. That's an accident waiting to happen.
So the other day we happened to sharpen all our knives, and that got us thinking about a verse in Proverbs 27:17 about relationships in our lives. Here's the verse in the Passion Translation, and if you've not heard of that version, go check it out. It says, "It takes a grinding wheel to sharpen a blade, and so one person sharpens the character of another." We're not blacksmiths, bladesmiths, or swordsmiths, although it would be pretty cool if we are. But we found three interesting facts when dealing with iron or steel that relate to life and relationships.
The first one is this that a knife cannot sharpen itself. Iron sharpens iron. We cannot do life alone. We need community. We need friends. As young working parents with two young children, life can get pretty busy just around the house. We can get easily sucked into our little own world and shut the outside world out. Friendships and relationships need to be intentional, and more than that, we need to be selective. Not in a judgmental way, where you have a mental checklist to tick off who you friend or unfriend, but instead we choose our close friends with the intention of building each other up. Friendships are made and it takes work to make them stronger. They don't just fall out from the sky. The older we get, the harder it is to find great friends. One of the things that we pray for is for good friends and mentors. So if you're thinking, I'm too old to make new friends, pray for them. Also, consider these questions about the friendship you have. How are you building your friend up? How is your friend building you up? Have you rubbed off on each other in a good way or otherwise?
Well, some friendships are also seasonal. I remember during my uni days in Australia, I grew close to a friend and we spent many, many hours on a weekly basis over a cuppa, reading the Bible, walking the beach, strolling in parks, speaking life to each other, and praying for each other. The friendship grew so quickly, and before long, I graduated and returned back to Malaysia. In retrospect, that friendship was for a short time, but it sharpened me in so many ways in my character, development, and perspective in life. So choose your friends wisely. The second point is this: you can't sharpen from a distance. Both iron needs to meet in order for sharpening to take place.
That's right.
And there are two issues in play here. One is insecurity, and the other is fear of rejection.
Sometimes we remain dull because we don't allow people to come near us. We subconsciously or consciously repel friendships that encroach our personal space. Maybe the reason is because we feel insecure about who we are. We don't want our friends to see the imperfect or ugly side of us, or somehow we feel less than them. This may double up with the fear of rejection. What if my friend doesn't like the real me? What if I don't match up to their expectation? Listen, all these fears are at best only in your mind. We need to allow friends in if we want to be sharpened. Don't shut the door of friendship when someone wants to genuinely step in and be your friend. Sharpening happens when we let people into our lives and into our hearts. It happens when we take a risk and get real. It happens when we let people get close enough to see our struggles and our fears.
Quick story. We learned this in our days in Cambodia, living in the rural area, aka Kampong. Gates are almost unnecessary except to keep the cows out and chickens in, so we had one. And in the first few months of being there, we always kept the gate closed. Our friends would ride by in their motorbikes and honk to see if we're in. This happened so many times that we decided, hey, let's just keep the gate open. No need for unnecessary honking. And before we knew it, we had so many visitors all day, every day. We made some of the most beautiful and meaningful friendships that we've had in our life because we decided to keep the gate open. Wonderful things can happen when we get real with each other.
Finally, our third point: sharpen your sword before the battle begins. There are a few notable items made from iron. We started with a knife and now we end with a sword. Imagine your friendships are swords. Now imagine your marriage as swords too. We fight battles on a daily basis and we need to make sure we are ready for battle. As friends, as husband and wife, as brothers and sisters, we don't fight against each other. We fight for each other. We fight for things that matter in life, things that will leave a lasting impact long after we are gone. But it's hard to fight the good fight when our weapon isn't ready for any fight at all. So how do we sharpen our swords? It is through words. We need to speak the truth, speak truth in each other, and in the same way accept truth spoken to and about us. Sharpening can often turn up the heat, get intense and messy, especially when we are ready to get real. It is in those times that the intent of our friendship and relationship is revealed.
So here are some questions to consider. Are we ready to accept correction and loving criticism? Can we openly and graciously communicate truth in love? Can we offer encouragement to build the other person up? And can we still hold each other up in the highest honor? Because sharpening is tough. The process is going to be rough, but the end product is purposeful, beautiful, and long-lasting. We need to be ready to accept loving criticism even when it is painful, and be ever ready to offer great encouragement to build each other up. We hope that this video has inspired you to do some sharpening of your own, and if anything, remember, a dull knife will not achieve its full purpose and its full potential. So we'll see you in the next video.